Hello, everyone. My name is Ben.
And my name is also Ben.
And welcome back to Pass the Podcast, a podcast today where we're going to be taking a look at Ben's, not me, Ben, his name is Ben now, his top 10 albums of the year. We're probably going to end up discussing some other shit just because, I don't know, that's just usually how things go around these parts. But, of course, as you guys know, Micah quit last time, so we are having him replaced with Ben, as you can tell. Clearly.
I'm better, Ben.
I want to quickly touch on the fact that last time around I said that he would be recording solo at some point, talking about his takes on the albums that we covered last time around, and that was kind of a lie, kind of not. So the situation currently going on is that next episode, of course, as per usual, we are going to be covering new music from the last 2 weeks. That's always how that goes, and he will have a solo segment at the end where he's going to give his takes on the new music from both of these segments. So pretty much the entire last month he will be talking about, and I'll be talking about the last 2 weeks. So that's the situation on there. But Micah here has not he has not the platform to make himself a top 10 albums of the year list. Unlike the way that they're popping up on my channel, all of my year-end lists. So we decided a really good way to go about this would be to have him discuss his top 10 albums of the year. Do you think I should give my predictions for what your year-end list is to start this off?
Give me your prediction for all your predictions, and then we'll you quickly run through and why you chose that, and then I'll tell you my 10, then we'll talk about it.
Alright, sounds cool. So, for my number 10 pick, I picked A$AP Rock with Spirit World Field Guide. I feel like you might have liked it a little bit better than that, but it was one where I was like, I have no idea where he's going to put this. So that was kind of my placement for that one. Number 9, I put Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, because I know you just thought it was okay the first time around, but then it grew on you. Tame Impala, The Slow Rush at number 8, just because I know that you're a Tame Impala fan. And it had to be on there somewhere, but it's not one of his best albums. And number 7, I put West of Eden by HMLTD, of course, one of my favorites. One of my 10s for the year, but I know that you didn't like it quite as much as me. And the same thing can be said for my number 6 prediction, Run the Jewels, RTJ4. And then right above that, I put Open Mike Eagle, Anime, Tragedy, and Divorce, because, again, that's just one that I know that you were a really big fan of, but I feel like, objectively speaking, it's not, that high up kind of situation, and I know that you did rate it lower than some things. Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher, I'm not really sure exactly where that one stands for you, but I also know that sad boy vibes. So, I figured it's got to land on there somewhere, because what else are you going to sit there and smoke your bogeys to? Clipping Visions of Bodies Being Burned at number 3, because it's fucking amazing. And you told me that you really love Thundercat's newest album when you were going through the stuff for this year. It Is What It Is. So I put that at number 2. And as we all know, Micah's first 10 on the channel was Dorian Electra, My Agenda. So I put that at number 1. Wow, that was long-winded.
Once.
I was right once? Jesus. Okay. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what'll happen 10, here.
I chose Charlie XCX, How I'm Feeling Now.
Alright. Tell us why you picked that one.
It was such a good album, and I'm just like, man, I feel like it's beat out by every other album that I chose in this list, but not by a lot. It's a 10 because there's a couple tracks that I would potentially skip.
Yeah, there are a couple songs on there that I myself think are much lower in quality level than others. I mean, what was such a common trend, because the same thing happened with the Rico Nasty album, is the Dylan Brady produced tracks are so much better than the other ones. That kind of situation, but I think everything on Charlie was really good. As a baseline standard. How would you compare it?
Good, but there's some it's just it's I think I would give Charlie a hard 7, a light 8.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much deserving. I ended up giving it a 9 just because I was so enthusiastic on certain tracks.
If I reviewed it when it came out, it would probably be a 9.
Yeah, I guess I haven't returned to it enough to necessarily justify that score anymore, but I do still kind of feel it. I came back to it less than I thought. Not certain songs, though. Certain songs I did come back to a ton this year. How do you feel it compares to her last work? Because I know a lot of people really liked her kind of self-titled. I mean, it was the needle drop, like, #1 album.
Let me look at her self-titled. Oh, in 2019, I did like it. I think I liked How I'm Feeling Now more.
Yeah, me too, which seems like the unpopular opinion for whatever reason.
We are kind of edgy hipster fucks.
We are kind of edgy hipster fucks, you're very right. Well, with that out of the way, why don't you move on to number 9?
So what did you say for number 9?
I said Fetch the Bolt Cutters.
I actually chose One Tricks Point Never, Magic One Tricks Point Never.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to put that on here. Yeah, I knew that would be on here, and I forgot completely.
Yeah, you did. Because I said I was going to switch to Tam Paula. This album is just a fucking experience, dude. It's just, it's
pretty different.
Good enough to deserve anything in my top 5, but it was amazing enough to deserve, like, at least number 9. Honestly, looking back at the list, like, right now, I could switch Charlie XCS and One Tricks Point Never, but they're kind of tied for me, and I see myself going back to One Tricks more than Charlie. So that's why I gave it what I gave it.
I could see that.
And yeah, for number 8, what did you say?
I ended up saying for that one, Tame Impala is the one where I placed that, but as you just said, that didn't actually end up landing on there, right?
Yep, number 8 was HMLDT, West of Eden.
Damn, that low, rip.
I know, it was like, it ended up getting pushed that low just because of how much, like, good music came out this year. I had a really good problem of, like, trying to choose good music. I did listen to all these albums as I was making the list to, like, go back to it, and it just...
You know, I did.
I could bump it up to a 7 because my number 7 was Open Mike Eagle, Anime Trauma and Divorce.
Yeah, all right.
I totally could switch HML and Open Mic, but I just feel like Open Mic resonates with me more than HMLDT.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I definitely have this, like, weird attraction to the HMLTD album. I think I'm really the only person that I've seen give it a 10, at least that I've interacted with in any way. For me, that's just, like, perfect in terms of creativity and unique songs and so on and so forth, but I can totally see it just not really being somebody's cup of tea, too. Oh, yeah, the hot wings for breakfast will fucking do that to you. Eat some Tums, brother. We were at number 6.
I gave RTJ4 by Run the Jewels number 6. It's the best two guys doing rap album there is.
Oh, wait, never mind. We were at number 7 then, I think, because you didn't talk about Open Mic at all.
Oh, yeah, Open Mic resonated with me a lot. I really like just the Anime Trauma and Divorce. Fucking this track's like Black Mirror episode. Fucking Head Ass, Idiot Sinji.
Oh, such a good track, yeah.
The Joestar Black Power Fantasy.
All of those were, yeah. What I find really interesting is even though that didn't necessarily resonate with me quite as good as it did with you, I do still remember all of the songs that you just mentioned.
Death Parade. I forgot. Oh, Death Parade. Like, I'm trying to... Airplane Boneyard is the only track on this album that I didn't really, like, fuck with that much. And Ace's Bop. The only 2 tracks that
I don't remember those ones. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Every other track I could probably sing right now. And I did give this album an 8. This was a lot of 8s this year. I think everything... I would give HMLDT an 8. One Tricks But Never was an 8. Charlie's a hard 7, like 8. And then next is number 6. What did you say for number 6?
I predicted Run the Jewels RTJ4.
Oh, hey, you were right twice.
Oh, was I? What was the other one I was right about? I don't remember.
You'll see.
Oh, okay. I see.
It's really obvious.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's RTJ4. It's the best album of two guys doing rap there is in existence. And if you think that's wrong, I'll fight you.
Yeah, so my question is, if it's really that good for the genre that it comes from and the type of music that it is, why so low? I mean, like 6 of course is pretty high, but
everything else above it is better.
I strongly disagree. You're a fucking weeaboo.
I just feel
what does being a weeaboo have to do with anything?
I just feel like the other albums above it have more like meaning and like influence and reach. I know that RTJ4 does get political a little bit, but it's really easily accessible too, which is good. And all his albums are very accessible, besides maybe 106 Point Never, and HMLDT.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
but I just feel like that the albums above it just have more impact. You know what I mean?
Just more impact. I can totally see that like on a personal level.
Yeah. What'd you say for my number 5?
Your number 5, I put that as Open Mike Eagle, so clearly I was wrong there, as that already popped up.
Number 5 was Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher.
Oof, just one below where I thought you'd have it.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's just your sad, edgy indie boy music.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like really, really good though. It's probably some of the best sad indie boy being edgy music.
Right, indie girl even, since it's Phoebe, indie person, indie gender fluidity. No matter your gender, you can be a sad indie person.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. In fact, I'm pretty sure, and spoiler alert here, I'm pretty sure she landed a pretty similar spot for me, if I remember what I was doing right, because, I don't sleep anymore, so it's hard for me to remember anything. But yeah, I totally agree with your placement and just kind of your reasoning behind it. Such a good album.
So, right above Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher at number 4 is Fiona Apple's Fetch the Bolt Cutters.
Even if I'm not that into this record, I can totally see why people are and why there's a lot of buzz around
banger of an album. It's like, it's got that fucking, like... Okay, I'm gonna... This is a hot take. Hot take alert.
Hot takes! We got them.
Definitely a gay album. Like, gay people...
What? What? There's literally no indication of that whatsoever. Even a little bit. What? Explain. Explain. No.
I was just being stupid.
Just gay.
You made me delete Twitter, so I gotta say my dumb shit somewhere.
You gotta say your dumb shit somewhere? Yeah, I told him that Twitter is an unacceptable place that is inhabitable for human life. The only people who can live on Twitter are toxic cockroaches.
It's definitely a really good spring release album. Like, it's basically Phoebe Bridgers, but just a little bit better.
Yeah, except nothing like it even a little bit.
I know, but like if you like Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher, you're gonna like Fiona Apple.
Yeah, you probably are in that situation. You're right, because both of them are like really, really criticky picks. Where I mean, if I hop on over to albumoftheyear.org, of course, my favorite place, my favorite space in which to exist and spend my time, unfortunately. Yeah, number 1 is Fiona Apple, and number 2 is Phoebe Bridgers as far as critic picks. So, yeah, so like I said, literally the criticiest picks you could possibly have. RTJ4 is right below that, but
hey, look, my order is Fiona Apple, Phoebe Bridgers, RTJ4.
It is. There's a lot of bullshit in between those, but yeah.
No, it's not. Number 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought there was something in between Punisher and RTJ4.
There used to be, but I switched it last second before the podcast.
Again, I have no memory of the things happening around me because I don't sleep anymore.
Alright. Number 3, what did you think?
I thought it was going to be Clipping Visions of Bodies Being Burned because it's just a fucking fantastic record. And if it's not your number 3, it's kind of in the wrong spot.
I mean, I feel like my clipping is in the perfect spot, but we'll get to that later. Number 3 is Thundercat. It Is What It Is.
Oh, really? You were sitting there texting me just like, yo, this Thundercat album is the best thing I ever fucking heard, dude. And I was just sitting there like, oh, all right, you know. It's okay, I guess. When this came out, I gave it a...
good.
When this came out, I gave it a 7-, I think. Yeah, dude, Dragon Ball Durag is one of the best singles of the year, though. Yeah, man, whenever I do get around to making my singles list, which will be after the albums, but it'll probably be next week, you can guarantee a spot for Dragon Ball Durag on there because that is certainly one of my favorites. But the rest of the album kind of pales in comparison, in my opinion. What do you think on that?
What do I think about that? I think you're an idiot.
Well, my feelings are physically fucking damaged.
See, the problem with this album, not even a problem. Like, you can't just pick tracks. The only tracks you could probably pick out are Dragon Ball Durag and maybe Miguel's Happy Dance. But it's just one. You have to listen to it all, like in one go.
There were certain ones that I remember being specific highlights.
I remember the highlights for me were Funny Thing, Dragon Ball Durag, Miguel's Happy Dance. I liked Overseas, which was like a skit, and it was pretty funny. Childish Gambino was on Black Qualls.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, that was pretty good. Let me look at this.
This is just the funkiest, goodest album.
Yeah. I really liked Interstellar Love. I don't know if you said
really
anything about that. Yeah, that one's a bop. That one's a bop. It's the first thing on the. I also dig Existential Dread and King of the Hill. Those are two that I fucked with. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I remember. For me, it was kind of sitting at like an okay position where I'm like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I've really revisited it more than like 1 or 2 times. Outside of, again, Dragon Ball Durag, I come back to often. I fucking love that song.
I've been a fan of Thundercat for a long time now.
That's fair. I've really just heard him on features and things like that.
Oh my god, I'm looking at his features. He featured on Late Night Special, but it was a Kirk Knight album, and Kirk Knight is fucking amazing. So if you haven't heard of him, you need to go check him out.
Yeah, I literally have not heard of him whatsoever.
We're gonna listen to it in the car later. It's really good. He's been on To Pimp a Butterfly. Wow. He's been on a bunch of Flying Lotus stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like the main place you see him.
Yeah, he's definitely he's just a really good producer, in my opinion. He was on Ty Dolla $ign's new album. What track was he on? Oh, he was on the track called Track 6. He was just there's a bunch of features on it, so that's kind of unfortunate. It's probably just kind of there, in the background, being like, yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, it seems like a pretty chill dude like that.
Hell yeah, dude. The fucking Gucci headphones he has with, the cat ears. It's stupid. I love it.
I completely agree.
Alright, so number 2, what'd you have for number 2?
I had It Is What It Is, Thundercat for that, so these might be switched around.
Flipped. Yeah. Clipping is number 2.
Clipping is number 2. That's a pretty good placement for it. I can totally accept that.
If my number 1 album, was just slightly worse in any way, shape, or form, Clipping would have definitely taken it.
I feel the exact same way in that I was just so close. I was just poking at the idea. I was playing with the idea multiple times throughout the listening experience that I had with this record, considering giving it a 10. And I just couldn't quite pull the trigger on it.
I couldn't either. I know that, so in my top 3, I know my top 3 is where it deserves in my heart. I know that my top 3 is definitely above the rest of the albums of my pick. You could switch around my top 3 in any way, and I'd still be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of under a similar impression to a degree. I just, as much as it is easily the best album to do it ever, no question about it, I still feel like horrorcore is a little bit of a gimmick to the point where I can't necessarily be like, ah, yeah, this is a perfect album. Because I feel like it's just slightly too gimmicky. Would you agree?
No. No, I don't think it's too gimmicky. The reason I didn't give this, I gave it a 9 out of 10, was because some of the tracks are not, like, as impactful as I know that they could have done. I
They
know
vary.
that there's, like, horror. I don't feel like the horrorcore is like a gimmicky, because it's like every other genre, but it has like the stupid fucking five finger death punches of it. Like, who's like the five finger death punch of horrorcore? Probably Necro. Just because how like ridiculous.
Nah, Necro's got fucking classics. He's a fucking crackhead.
That's
Let
true.
him be.
Necro's fucking probably killed somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the type of people who listen to that kind of like edgy shit listen to low key, and I hate to say that because I used to listen to a lot of low key, but
Oh my
I
god.
also used to listen to Five Finger Death Punch. To be absolutely fair, now that we're at
You
it.
forced me to listen to so much fucking low key, and I didn't like it. I was like, this horrorcore is trash. But then I found Necro, and I was like, hey, I got some good music for you.
Yeah, Micah he always just rolls up listening to that fucking crackhead music. That's usually about how that goes.
I love Danny Brown. If Danny Brown released any album this year, it'd probably be on this list.
Oh yeah, and he released something last year that landed on mine, at least in my top 20. I think it was number 20 for me.
Yeah, that's definitely in top 15 for my 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Anyways, so what did you have for number one?
Your number one, I thought it was Dorian Electra, which again.
Ding ding ding.
What?
Look at that. You got it right.
Hey. Who would have ever guessed the 10 out of 10 that you gave is your number one? Who would have guessed?
3 10s this year? You give 2 10s?
Yes, I did. And 3 zeros.
3 zeros. I only gave 1 10 this year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And one of my 10s was like one where I was being a little generous, so.
Oh yeah, you're being generous with HMLDT.
A little bit. Just slightly, but I definitely have that level of enjoyment with it, and I think that it's creative enough to deserve it. But either way.
I feel like if I was slightly more into RTJ, it would be my 10, and it would be my number 1, and everything else would be above it would be down 1.
Yeah, you see, I mean, I was not into RTJ before this year at all. I had not really listened to, any of their stuff. I don't think I had ever heard an RTJ song before RTJ 4 came out. But since it was like literally a numbered progression, I had to hear 1 through 3 before I heard 4. So I went ahead and did all of my reaction videos, ones that might be fucking deleted tomorrow. Thanks, Tom Tillis, you fucking bastard. But yeah, I did my reactions to 1 through 3. And then I uploaded my review on 4, and that was my 10 because I had rated all of the original trilogy, I guess you could say, really well. And then I was like, oh yeah, well, RTJ 4 is easily better than all of those. I was so fucking excited about it listening to it.
I'm gonna go take a peek at RTJ real quick because I heard I think 2 a little bit because my teacher actually listen to Run the Jewels.
Oh yeah, we talked about that before. He's so cool.
He had a Run the Jewels 2 shirt. Yeah, it was RTJ 2 is what I fucking heard first. I heard that RTJ 3 was their worst album. Would you agree?
Nobody said that ever.
Nobody said that. Well, one teacher said that. So.
Yeah, some people still like that better than 4. Yeah, that one's got a lot of really close followers. Usually it's contested between those two. For me, I'm actually really weird, and maybe it's just because I heard them all in such short succession, if I can fucking speak, and this was the first one I heard. But to me, I think 1 is actually the second most like memorable of the bunch in comparison to 4.
I like my favorites probably go 1, 4, 2, 3.
Yeah, I actually like 2 the least out of all of them, which is weird. Nobody really does that, and it wasn't even it wasn't even that way when I first listened to it. But I actually just come back to the least songs on RTJ too. But either way, why don't you talk about your number one pick? Let's just run some more thoughts through that. Yeah, I know. We already discussed that much, but yeah, give us some thoughts, dude.
It was my 110 of the year, and over the past, how many months passed? 2 months, it still held up as like my favorite album of the year by a lot.
Yeah, that dropped, and we were both pretty hype about it. It's a really good record. I've listened to it pretty regularly, and that's saying a lot considering how goddamn abrasive it is, how just like punishing on the ears it is. The fact that I come back to it really regularly says something, because, you know, again, it is a fucking loud release. Like it just, yeah, it kind of like just takes your ears and just like fucking brutally beats them, but in the best way possible. Like it can beat me up all day. I'm good with it.
All right, so I believe that is it for my list.
That is it for your list. All right. Do you have any honorable mentions?
The Tame Impala album. The Tame Impala album definitely could have made this list if One Trick Pony never didn't make one. Mac Miller.
Yeah, because they are
his. What do you call him when you make an album after the guy dies?
Posthumous.
Yeah, that one was really close. The only reason I don't think I gave it to it was because I didn't listen to it a ton, and I was just kind of like meh.
See, that's the one that I've most recently revisited, and every single time I revisit it, it gets better.
Alright, maybe it'll grow on me, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I made a mistake.
It's possible.
Like, Mac Miller's really good.
I am going to go ahead, and I'm not going to tell you where it is, because, you know, I'm making a top 50, and it could land basically anywhere on there. You guys have no idea. But I will say that when I re-listen to it, like the last 3 times, it has jumped up spots every single time that I've re-listened to it.
Hell yeah,
I think it's like the best posthumous album that's ever came out, very possibly.
I think it's probably the only good one that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, so many rappers just get like completely disrespected after their death. I mean, you know, just like all of the stuff that they did with X after he died is fucking atrocious. Just releasing these completely half-finished songs that were basically just snippets at the time, and then trying to make them, butcher them and cut them into full songs was ridiculous and pretty disgusting and despicable in most cases. There's a couple like real songs that you can find between those two god-awful mixtapes, but yeah, for the most part, you know, so many rappers just, again, get fucking brutalized after they're dead. I think Lil Peep was handled okay, but yeah, Mac Miller was handled even so way better.
I remember watching the Fantana review, and he actually cried.
Oh yeah, on when he listened to Good News. Yeah, man, that is. I love how Fantana was like cried on camera twice, and they've both been this year. It's like, yeah, we feel you, Melon. We feel you. Melon out here. Crying some seeds, all right, you know. You mess with the melon, you get the seeds. Love that one. Yeah. So, what the fuck happened to A$AP Rock? Didn't you love that album?
It's 11.
It's 11? Okay, so like maybe, you would put that 50. At number 11?
That's definitely a super honorable mention. I don't know, number 11, man. It's a really, really good album, and I own it on vinyl.
Yes, you do. We got that together.
You mean you bought it for me?
I did. No problem, bud. Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? You gave that like a 9 or something. Where's that at?
I gave it an 8, I think.
You gave it an 8? Okay. Yeah, still.
It's
yeah. It's a solid record. It's a solid record. I liked it a lot, but I was like, oh yeah, he kind of dick rode that one a little bit. I'm not sure where that was at. But
I mean, of course I dick rode it.
Yeah.
It's A$AP Rock.
Yeah. You kind of do that for A$AP Rock at times. Everybody needs their lyrical miracle, you know.
Hell yeah, dude. Fucking ASAP Rock, dude. I easily. Nah, he looks kind of grody. No offense, ASAP Rock. Anywho. What else came out this year that I would give an honorable mention?
Let me scroll through my list real fast and see if there's anything. Oh, did you hear the new Strokes record? Or did you not?
A Strokes record came out?
What the fuck? You just didn't
How
know
would I
about
miss
it
it?
at all? It's like their first in like 10 years.
I didn't
Jesus,
know
how
they
did you
fucking
miss
released
that?
something.
The new
What
abnormal.
the fuck? When did they release this?
This summer. It was the fucking talk of the town, man. How did you miss that shit?
I don't know. You never mentioned it to me or played it around me.
I figured it was a given since you listened to the Strokes before me.
Alright, I'm listening to it right now.
Bad Decisions was my number 2 song of the year on my fucking Spotify Wrapped. We talked about that.
I thought it was an older one.
No, it's not. It's literally from this year.
Alright, so from like the fucking track and a half that I just heard, or maybe like two halves of tracks, it gets an honorable mention. It might be. Is it a 10? Did you give it a 10?
No.
No.
No. Like I said, I only gave 2 10s this year, but it was like an 8, I think. I gave it an 8. Yeah, it was an 8.
Alright.
It was a really good 8. It was an 8 plus.
So it's definitely gonna be in the top 20 for me. Give it an honorable mention.
I mean, that's kind of a given because you like the Strokes a lot, and it's a good Strokes album.
Alright, I think that's it for our albums. This is gonna be a shorter episode this time around, unfortunately.
Ooh, The Garden. Maybe... Where's The Garden?
Oh, The Garden? Fuck. Yeah, that's number 12.
Number 12? Alright.
Yeah.
Right, I'll take it. I was going to say, you introduced me to The Garden, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I think this is
not
one of their best projects.
I beg to differ. I think it's their best ever. I really fuck with it. I like it a lot.
I like Mirror Might Steal Your Charm. And I like fucking... whatchamacallit? Haha. California, Here We Go. It's a single. Haha was a good one. I'm trying to get... I'm looking at their albums right now. Their self-titled was fine. The Life and Times of Paperclip was probably their best album.
Nah. Kiss My Motherfucking Super Bowl Ring is the best one. One thing that I was kind of surprised you didn't make any kind of mention to is Caliuchis.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not up high.
Alright. I don't know. Yeah, again, kind of shorter episode here. We pretty much just had one intention in mind, and that was to let Micah share his favorites of the year.
Honestly, guys, if you like these shorter episodes, we can take less time. I know it's supposed to be a podcast, but if you want it to be let us know in the comments what we could do to make this better.
Yeah, if you do have any suggestions or little topic ideas or anything like that that you guys think would be interesting for us to discuss in the coming off weeks, that would be cool. Of course, we're gonna end up taking about the same amount of time on our album videos because that's just how those go when we're reviewing out the new music.
I mean,
but yeah.
Some people might like it if we just kind of fucking... we do talk. We're long-winded sometimes when it comes to those. If they want us to fucking chop, hurry this shit up, we could.
I feel like my problem is that I review music, and I'm so wanting to get into detail just because I don't know how many people know this, but I used to make album reviews even before the Pass the Aux Chord bit. So
yeah,
I'm so in album review. So in album review mode that it's hard for me to not go into excruciating detail.
Because we could just talk about what we liked about the albums and shit. I don't know. It's a whole thing. You just let us know.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little bit less rambly with these as we go along anyways. But yeah, I suppose. We'll see how it goes in the future here. We're almost in the new year.
Yeah, otherwise, what's your New Year's resolution? Oh, no, wait, no, that's
my New Year's resolution?
That's next episode.
My New Year's resolution is to get to the next off episode so that I can talk about my New Year's resolution.
We're going to talk about it at the end of the next episode.
Yeah, if we get there, we get there, you know. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.